What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hopsgeeknews, your home for comics, movies, TV shows, and typically we feature a beer of the week. I'm Matt, alongside me is Lauren, and today we have a really great returning guest. Our friend Frank is returning. We're going to talk about his latest Kickstarter that only has a few days left, and you guys are going to want to get on this. If you've heard Frank on our show before, you know he's an excellent writer, and today we're going to talk about Love and Death on the Dark Side of the Moon, which is a science fiction fairy tale, and I cannot wait to talk about this. So, as always, Hopsgeek News, any social media platform, any podcasting platform, and do it so we can maybe afford a new eye here. Of course, for just one listen a day, you could regrow my eye back. And with that said, let's bring everybody into the fold. Let's talk about it. Hey, Lauren, long time no see. Haha. And then, of course, Frank, how is it going? What have you been up to since we've kind of last talked before we dive into it?
I've been up to stuff. I've been doing good. I've trying to focus on my personal projects, Grimspace. I know we talked about before my sci-fi fantasy series, but I've partnered with an artist, Gerald von Stoddard, for a whole mess of projects, and one of them is live right now.
Oh man! So you've done some incredible works over the years and things, and we've kind of gotten to follow your journey a lot. So why don't you take us to the dark side of the moon and kind of talk about love and death and what goes down?
Yeah, everything I've done for myself, I've been kind of the driving factor. I mean, I work with a lot of artists, but I'm pitching them the idea. They're working off my script. With stuff I do with Gerald, it kind of we create it from scratch together. He has a vision in his head of what he kind of wants to draw, but not necessarily a story to go with it. And then I just kind of expand the story from there. And we did one earlier this year, which was like a kind of a revenge, Quentin Tarantino slashing with a samurai sword, cutting people up. It was a lot of fun. But that was like a regular issue. We decided to do something that was a little longer for this next idea. And by the time we just developed it, we had 100 pages. So it's a full-length graphic novel. And it's called Love and Death on the Dark Side of the Moon.
Nice. So what was that like for you now? So typically, like you said, you've been kind of the driving factor. So what was it like this time being you're still a driving factor writing the story, but what was this process kind of like for you?
I like it because I'm learning a lot, because Gerald's a very visual thinker. I'm more of a cerebral thinker. So I'm thinking of story and what needs to happen. And there are certain parts of a story where things get a little slow. It's mainly like dialogue. And he's always thinking of ways to make every page look cool, just visually. So he's like, yeah, that's fine. Like we can do that. But like, how can I draw that? Like, that's kind of boring to draw. So it's cool to hear an artist that's like telling me like what he wants to do and how he wants the pages to be, rather than just saying, okay, your script, I'll draw it,
Yeah. Like here's the script. Here's what I want. And then you go from there. This time he's like, no, dude, we're going to do that this way. Like and that's kind of, as a writer, that gets you excited, because then I got to think it almost gives you a little bit more freedom at the same time.
It does, but it also constrains me a bit, because if he wants to draw a specific thing, I'm like, how do I fit that into the story? Which it's good, because it pushes me to make the story better. It's not going to do anything that's making the story worse. So it's forced me to up my game in a lot of the stuff that we're working with. They're like, all right, if Gerald wants to draw something crazy, I got to figure out a way to give him crazy.
Yeah.
Well, and just the art you can see on the Kickstarter page is absolutely gorgeous. It's like dark, and I love the purples and the blues, because it's you said it's in the near distant future. The sun's dying, but it gives me like, what is it, Cthulhu? I can never say the
Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Like that's
like those vibes with the claws and stuff. Yeah, it looks really cool.
It's weird, because this is a science fiction book, but a lot of his visual inspirations came from Sandman, which is a purely fantasy book. So you could see that in those first few pages. And that was his idea. Kind of, it's a flash forward a little bit, because the following pages, they kind of say 20 years later, I think. And so, it was his idea to say, look, let's start in this moment, because it's so crazy. And from there, we push back to see how we get there. But I would have never done that. That was him. He wanted to have this idea of what this monster would look like. And so it's a great collaborative effort as to how the page kind of unfolds, how the book story unfolds.
Nice. Well, go ahead and tell us a little bit about the book. Who are the characters at play? I know obviously Lauren kind of did. The sun begins to die. But
come here. Say hi. Yeah, nice to meet you. Go. You're either in or you're out.
I was gonna say, is it the author of the fart bomb that you're bringing?
Oh no, that's the boy. The girl is the inspiration for Where the Nightmares Are.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
that's right.
Yes.
Where the Wild Things Are.
Where the Wild Things
She
Are,
thinks she's cute dancing off camera, trying to distract me.
My kids have 100% done that before.
It's working. What was the question?
Go ahead and give us like who are the characters that are involved?
Well, the character, what the story's about.
Kind of what the story.
Okay, so it's about a boy named. It's about a boy named Nero. He's born in this research station on the dark side of the moon, where they're trying to figure out what's wrong with this dying son. But something's wrong with him. Even as a baby, when sunlight hits him, this dark cloud emanates out of him. And the scientists have no idea what it is. They have no idea how to control it, and they're scared of him because they're on the moon, right? One thing goes wrong, and everybody can be dead. So they kind of sequester him away. They quarantine him. They hide him away, and he has to grow up there. And it's about this boy that's growing up in isolation who really just wants to, connect with people and have friends and live a regular life. But he's this kind of pariah.
Ooh, nice.
And now you're doing this with a web series too. Have you done that before?
I have not. And this came from Gerald saying, look, we're making this 100-page book. We want to offer it digitally, but we don't want to just jam 100 PDF pages to people. We want to do something unique, create an experience. So what we decided to do was break it up into 10 chapters. It's written as a graphic novel, beginning to end. It's not broken up, but we figured out good points to stop. And then we are converting them into a vertical scroll like they have in webtoons. So it's going to read more fluidly. It's going to be completely reformatted for like a digital reading experience. And we think that's like something a little extra, so people just don't get a huge document at the end that they have to scroll through.
No, yeah, I think that's something that's really clever, especially when it comes to this graphic novels side of things. And it says the art obviously by Gerald, but Dave Fowler also is on the colors. So this was a 3-piece kind of deal. So did you guys, all three of you, kind of talk about the colors at the same time, or was it largely just you and Gerald going back and forth?
Well, Gerald and I, it's our project. So when we talk about colors, we're like, look, this is going to be tricky because it's science fiction, but it's like there needs to be more. There's a mood here. There's a vibe to the story that it needs to have. So we asked a couple different colors to do samples, and Dave was the one, because Dave's traditionally an artist. He's not a colorist. So he approached it from a different mindset. And when they came back, Gerald and I were just like, immediately, we both knew that his was the one that we were looking for. Like we were just on the same page, and we knew that he brought something different to it. Because how do you do colors in space? The whole point of it is just
space is a vacuum. So, it's a black vacuum. Yeah.
So there has to be some sort of like artistic concept to how this quasi space like monster is gonna be colorful.
Yeah. So, and we all know that you're also a big movie buff as well. And being that science fiction in space, do you have any inspirations, things that you were thinking of in the back of your mind, big ones that were you're thinking? Because I've recently just like rewatched Event Horizon, which is a movie I haven't watched in a while. So all about like the horror science fiction style. So I'm interested to get into your mind about what inspirations you took.
For inspirations for the setting, yes. But this is a story that's largely like character based. So for plot, I was looking like it has the same kind of plot as Sunshine,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
As the sun is dying. And then obviously there's that, what's his name? Sam Rockwell movie, Moon. That's another. Oh, yes. So there's definitely space stuff, but this is a very emotional, character driven piece. So when I was thinking about movies that I could kind of draw from, Edward Scissorhands was oddly a big one. It's nothing to do with space.
Solitude.
Yeah. About a guy who's just different than everyone else, who wants to fit in, that he just has to live this weird, atypical, dark life. And so it's weird to try to blend those like science fiction stuff like 2001: A Space Odyssey and an Alien and weird stuff like that with this other Tim Burton movie.
Yeah. I mean, and character driven too. I know there's typically, character driven can be kind of hard and things like that. What was the hardest part for you when it comes to a character driven versus, because science fiction, it can be character driven, which are more often than not like the best styles for you. So what were some obstacles that you had to overcome, if any, actually?
Well, the trickiest one for this is because it's such a long story. It's a long character driven story. And you go through Nero's life, essentially. You see him, it starts from the moment he's born, and it takes place all the way until he becomes a man. So you have to pace that somehow, you have to devote time to adolescence and teenage life and all that stuff. So it like trying to nail that pacing to give each phase of his life its due was interesting. It's like, when do you jump around? You got a time skip, obviously. It's not 20 years long. It's like, what do you miss out on? So trying to put those pieces in together to see how he really grows up into the person he becomes it's hard, but it was fun too. I feel like I'm raising my own kid.
Well, I was going to ask, like, for you get to go through this character's entire life. So was there a sequence, like which part was your favorite to write and which one was your favorite to visit?
This is an easy answer. So there's a moment in the story when so he finds connection through this girl named Celine, who was born the same exact time. So they're the same age, and while everybody's kind of like pushing him away, she like thought he was interesting. She's the one who kind of draws the light out of him. And the first moment that they meet, I drew inspiration from. I was at IHOP with my daughter, and she's playing peekaboo with this boy that's like on the other side of the restaurant, and she knew him, so they were playing back and forth. But it was such this cute, like endearing
moment too.
It was kind of adorable that they knew each other and they were friends and they saw each other, and I was like, I just stored that in the back of my head for whatever reason, and then years later I'm like, this would be an awesome moment in the story if they met by playing peekaboo like that. So
that's so cute.
Yeah, so it's like little stuff like that you try to take from real life and you insert into the story to flesh him out, to make him like this real person with these cute
make him
moments.
more human.
Yeah.
Well, and then the moments are more relatable. And I think anytime things are more relatable, people enjoy them more because they can see themselves in them. And I think that's the best sci-fi things, I feel like, are the ones that are the most human, the most relatable.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of at the core of the story, is that this he's not really human. Something's wrong about him. Something's off. And people treat him like he's inhuman, but it's like one person tries to bring that humanity out of him. And it's kind of a touching story, filled with fantasy
Superman.
And horror and all the crazy stuff.
So, I mean, yeah, but so this is just its own contained thing. You said it's 100 pages graphic novel. It's got a beginning, middle, and end. Is there any more that you've talked about? Have you left it open without spoiling what obviously happens? But could there be more?
As far as I think there always could be more.
Of course,
I think we've seen that in times, Star Wars and Star Trek, and
somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah, there's always room for more.
No one dies in fiction forever.
If it does really well and people resonate with it and they want like an additional story, there's always that chance. But no, we never really pursued that. However, we did want to flesh out the universe. Ooh. So in doing that, we've created like in-world documents. Like I've created emails and memos between the scientists.
Emos, I'm in.
Combine them. Memos, emails, like little, real world stuff, like a maintenance crew asking for to fix something at the space station. And I've also written short stories, both a prologue and like a prelude that kind of like give you backstory to the characters that you don't need. Like you could read this thing completely by itself. But I think all these little things flesh out the universe. If you do like it and you are interested in it, you could always like learn more.
Oh, I do love the backstories and that stuff that I love. It reminds me of, DVD commentaries and DVD menus that we used to have back in the day.
It's funny you say that, because as an add-on, we are giving like a behind the scenes thing, because I wanted to there are some scenes that I wanted to put in the story, but for pacing reasons, I just couldn't include them.
Yeah.
So we're like all the stuff that's deleted scenes left on the cutting room floor, we're going to just alter them up. They're not part of the story. But again, like those little things add more to the characters that you love. So you get like more of this extra context and stuff.
So do you have, so what are some of the different tiers that people can do to get, if they just want the bare bones, or if they want, does the web series come with all of?
Yes, the web series comes with everything, whether you want it or not. You'll get access to it. One of the reasons for that was it's going to take us long to finish. So this is a good way it will be updated periodically, monthly. So this is a good way to like stay in touch with people, letting them know that we're working on it. And that comes with every single pledge level. You could get it by itself or get it with everything else. And we just got a bunch of different sizes. Like we have a digest size, like a manga size, a soft cover, a hard cover, and then we have like a premium slipcase that goes with it all. So it's
something kind of for everybody there. That's pretty interesting. I like that.
Yeah, Gerald's a big cover guy. He loves drawing covers, and we have to find excuses to use them all. So.
I do love a good, like there's always, especially right now, people are into blind bags, and there's all sorts of things that are out there right now, and they're getting really creative with cover work. So I'm always am a sucker for cover work. And I'm like, do I really need two of the same? But I'm like, yes, because I like the various covers, of course. I'm just that person because I like to display art. And I feel, comics are art. And it's really cool getting to see everybody's interpretations.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, Lauren, aside from that, is there anything, do you have any upcoming conventions, any other books that you're getting ready to come out with for the rest of this year or early 2026?
I was hoping to do 6 Grimspace launches this year, and I didn't get to them all. I got a little delayed. Also, working with Gerald took up some time. So I do have 2 that's coming next year.
Ooh.
And what are they? Because I remember you came on and we talked Pinocchio.
Yeah, I did Pinocchio. It was a while ago. And then this year I've done 3 Little Pigs, Cinderella, The Monkey King, and Peter Pan. So
what can we expect in 2026?
So the first one is going to be Anansi, the kind of the trickster spider.
Oh.
And after that is Wizard of Oz, which I'm looking forward to because that's going to be that's my event
right now.
My daughter literally just got home from seeing Wicked for good. Actually, yeah, it is.
I'm going to see it tomorrow with my daughter for her birthday. So.
Oh, nice. Hey, happy birthday.
My daughter won't see it with me. She wants to go with her friends.
Oh.
I have 2 daughters. I should ask the other one.
I'm looking forward to it though, because Wizard of Oz is going to be my Avengers. I've done like a whole bunch of standalone ones, and this is the one where all the characters are going to come together. Like I'm bringing back Pinocchio is going to be in it, and I have Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk. Monkey King is going to be in it, and I have a Sherlock Holmes character named Shelley Holmes.
That's
so cool. It's like, they were featured in all their own stories, and now they're all going to combine and kind of.
I can't wait for that. That's going to be awesome. I can't. Yeah, whenever that gets going, obviously, where we're at, come chat with us about that. It would be great to chat and explore that universe a bit. Right. But
it was fun twists on some classic stories.
Yeah. Legitimately though, we love getting to have you on and everything like that. So the Kickstarter, for anybody who wants in on it, is going to be in the show notes of this. It's got just 3 days left now when this comes out, but hey, no time like the present to get in on this. And Frank, do you have any parting shots? And then where can people also find you?
No, parting shots is enjoy your comics. whatever you're reading, have a good time. Where they can find me is at franktherewriter.com or at franktherewriter. That's kind of my handle. So yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Well, thank you as always for hopping in. I know we got a little delayed and everything like that, but as always, it's a pleasure. So thank you for sharing this stuff with us. And everyone's got to read comics, man. Your works are really great to read. So and find what the reader just decided to get crazy. Sorry. My computer just blacked out. I don't know if it froze or anything, but my apologies.
It froze for us. I thought it was me.
I had about one or 2 words.
Well, I was just saying thank you for sharing this stuff with us. There's something for everybody in comics. Hopefully people check this out and it speaks to them in the way that not only you want it to, but they find something that's really personal to them with this coming of age story almost.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Lauren, do you have any final thoughts?
No, everything we've done with Frank has been awesome. We've loved all of it. Polar Paradox, The Last Homicide, Grim Space. So I can't imagine that this isn't going to be fantastic as well. And one of the things I love is when we get artists on here, but it's really cool that you're a writer that always has different artists because all of your stories look and feel so different, but they're going to be fantastic. So this looks really cool. I'm excited to check it out. So yeah, go check it out. And all you have, if you go to Kickstarter and just put in Frank Martin,
you'll see all the stuff.
A bunch of your stuff comes up. I did it today. I wanted to make sure it was, get the names of the comics we've read correct, and a bunch of stuff comes up. So you can just do that and you'll find them as well. If you don't want to check the link in the bio, but check the link in the show notes for sure.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
Of course. Thank you as always. Everybody else, we will see you guys next time. This has been a great Creator Spotlight, and cheers everybody.